Hello, everybody. Hi, I have a co-host at the moment. He's very happy to be here. He's just giving me my kisses, right? No, I'm not gonna get him. He wants treats. He wants them. I was talking. Oh, okay. That's worth a treat. Okay. I got my kiss. That's all I ask for in life is kitty kisses. There you go. Earl, would you like some? No? Okay. I got you, bro. I would have been on an hour earlier, but my daughter had a concert that I had to attend. So that took precedence, and I was not able to get on earlier than this. So, but I am here now. It's still early. And I wanted to show this. We talked about this last night. This is the toy that I was discussing. Chex and Cherries got it for me from my wish list, but it's a 4-in-1 cat toy. So it's got the feather that they go crazy for. The laser comes out of this. It's got where they can chase the balls. And then a little feathered doohickey comes out of these holes here for them to ambush. That's what it's called, the ambush something. So this toy keeps them entertained for hours. Ava loves it. It's her favorite thing. When she hears the beep of it start up, she goes crazy for it. The only thing is I can't have it going in here because the ambush toy makes noise. It's like a chick, chick. So it would very much disrupt everything. And plus the laser going round and round. So I mean I'll show you. I don't really I don't know how the laser's what it's gonna hit or how it's gonna respond. Billy approves. Hi, would you like me to go put this down? I don't typically hold it when they play with it. I usually just set it down. But maybe I need to hold it from now on. Maybe I need to play with it like this. So anyways, when you turn it on, then you choose the setting of what elements you want going, and then you just set it down, and it keeps them entertained for hours. They love it. So I'm gonna really quickly just go set this down in the other room so they can go wild. But you can see why I can't leave it in here. That noise. So I know, you guys, I got it going. I know, Ava. So I'll be right back, guys. I'm coming. I'm just gonna set this right outside the door. Yes, I know. Hey, can you set this over there, please? Just set it down. Thank you. Yes, Billy, you can go get your toy. So anyways, we talked about that last night, and I just wanted to show you guys because you guys were really interested in it. So that is the 4-in-1 cat toy. I am so sorry, Salty Buddha. I am so sorry. I know it's earlier. I am so sorry. Hi, Nana Laura. Oh! Hello. From Ava as well. Hello, crazy old lady. How you doing, Mystic? Oh, you have your own fan club. Chat. Hello, Emily. You are just something else. You want your treats. I know it. I know you do. You're like, the kitty's got treats. I'll give you all the kisses in the world, Mama. I'll give you all the kisses you ever need. Just give me treats. Okay, can I get at them? Can I get at them? Can I get at your blue buffalo treats? Your favorite thing? Is this what you want, Ava? Is this what you want, Ava? Yes, I know. You want your blue buffalo bars. Pumpkin and cinnamon. Yes. Ready? There you go, baby girl. She's so wonderful. I'm sorry for the disruption, but it's Ava. Oh! Okay, there. I am Sans Treats. Good evening, Sir Philip. From Mali, Victoria, Australia. I need to formally apologize to everyone in Australia. I never meant to pronounce it incorrectly. It is Mali. It is not Mali, as I, my ignorant Midwesterner self, thought. So I will say it correctly from now on. I always try to get things right like that. For instance, I now say Missouri. I say Oregon. And, it's always been Narlands. So there's just little, all you got to do is tell me and I'll fix it. It might take me a minute. Gotta let me practice a couple times. I might get it wrong, just out of habit, but I will certainly do my best. Same with names. If I'm saying your name wrong, just let me know. But I do definitely appreciate you being here, and I love you, and I hope you know that. You guys, all of you, but I absolutely love every one of you. And there, right there, is my salty Buddha. I have missed you so much. So much. I'm so happy you're here. And he sent me pictures of puppies, y'all. Puppies. I'm so happy. They're so cute. They're brand new. Absolutely brand new. That was so cute. Hello, Nicola Maxwell, my love. I was going to ask if you've had any sleep, and you have answered that. You poor thing. I hope you're able to at least nap today. I love you. Just hit the like button and doze off. Oh, Joey Bag of Donuts, you can do the same if you need. I'm here for you, love. Thank you for being here for me. We got our Ava moment in early. She was on time. She was on. I wait until my little clock thingy. It's got a countdown timer, and it says it's showtime when it's ready, time to go on. So, yeah, I was here. Joey Bag of Donuts. Golly, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. That means so much to me. You bring so much joy to the chat just by being here and being funny, because you're funny. And I love when you talk, and I love the Discord conversations, and you do this all the time. You're amazing. You're so supportive, and I love you so much. I appreciate you. And Yoda's cute. That helps you too. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm so happy. Thank you so much, Joey. Thank you. Hi, C. Chinny. How you doing, buds? Yay! I am now an honorary Scot. I'm an honorary Aussie. Who else wants to claim me? I am up for adoption, y'all. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. I am behind because I've been talking. Oh, honey, everybody is. Don't feel bad. Yes. You were one of the first to adopt me. It's true, y'all. She's like, I swear you're Scottish. You must have some Scot in your blood. And I'm like, no, it's all German and French as far as I know. I don't know. There is a little bit of a red tint when the sun hits it in the summer. So quite possibly. And I cannot dye it. If I dye it, you know that I have red undertones. So it's very possible. Oh, I've DM'd her a few times. I don't think she knows where that feature is. She knows how to at. Yay! I love Canadians. Y'all make the best artists, I swear. Oh, so many fabulous artists have come from Canada. Shania Twain, Tom MacDonald. Come on, you guys. Oh, and there's a lot more. So many. I really can't, just physically. Like, I don't know how I would ever be able to fly anywhere. Oh my goodness. Like, they wouldn't be able to make the accommodations. Like, I don't know how that works. I'd have to get like a private plane, or I don't know. I go on Google and I'll look stuff up. That's how I travel. Oh no. I'm so sorry. We haven't done a movie in a minute. I shared a documentary actually just a little bit ago. It's called The Serengeti Rules, and fascinating. I love documentaries. And this one talks about what they call keystone species, which, you know how you're always thinking like, oh, these, okay, how do I put this into words that don't make me sound stupid? Like you want to protect the little guy. You want to save the smaller species or the weaker species, right? You want to protect them from prey. So people always think of, like the lions and the cougars and bears and everything like that as, being bad for these smaller species, right? No. Because if you remove the predator from the ecosystem, it will have such detrimental consequences that those smaller species will completely overrun the ecosystem, and the balance is thrown off so badly that it will destroy the ecosystem to a point where it's not livable. So it's so fascinating. You can take the smaller species out, just not all of them, because there's got to be something to hunt. But the balance of the ecosystems is just such a wild thing, There's so much that affects it. Oh, you ever seen one of them bad boys wet? Whoo, scary. You want to think of the cute and cuddly ones in the trees. Oh, no. No, they can be scary. And those teeth. Wow. Yeah, wow. What? I think it was supposed to in like 1986 or something like that. I don't know. How many times has the world supposed to have ended? We're all still here, y'all. Hello, Catherine Gaston. Thanks for coming. Hi, Ruth Ward, honey. I told you I'm trying to come on a little earlier. Just a little earlier and a little earlier. Tonight, my daughter had a choir concert, so it delayed me a little. So it wasn't the, 8:30, 9 o'clock that I had planned, especially not since I didn't get a whole lot of notice from her. She said, by the way, I've got a choir concert tonight. And I said, 7, right? And she said, yeah. And then, so I picked her up from school and I took her to get something to eat. And I said, so what time do you have to be dropped off? And she's like, 6:45. I'm like, 6:45, but the concert's at 7? She goes, no, the concert starts at 8. Okay, plans change. Oh, it won't ever be too early. I don't think I'll ever be able to be completely day streamer. What would I do with all this night shift with April stuff we've created? Like, no, I think like, okay, so right now it's 10:48 my time. And I think the earliest I'll probably consistently go on would be like 8:30, 9 o'clock range. But then I'll pepper in a few day streams in there as well. I've got to have those every once in a while, but consistently, like my night stream and the night stream goes pretty late, especially, when I get on these benders where I'm, trying to find as many cool things as I can. Like last night was so much fun. Oh, well, I would hope so. I love how you phrase that. I still love you and your laugh. Well, I sure hope you do. And I still love everything about you. Oh, kind of, yeah. But that's okay, because you know what? All it takes is her to hear her treats, her Blue Buffalo treats. And she comes running. She was playing with the cats. Their toy is set up in the living room. And she was playing with them. She abandoned playtime to get these dang treats. Ava, would you like one of these? Would you like a Blue Buffalo treat? Oh my gosh. Oh, I guess I should give the formal notice. This stream is not sponsored by Blue Buffalo. Oh my gosh, did it come back up? Can you guys see me? Please, somebody say something in the chat. Because I lost connection for a minute there. Can you guys see me? Oh! Hey. Mama's having a moment. Okay. Yes. Nice. Okay. I'm okay now. It's okay now. We got our friends back. Oh my goodness. I'm going to put these back over here for now, honey. I don't want to give you too many. How many can you have in a day? Okay. Oh, it doesn't say exactly. It just says, while your furry friend would probably love to have Blue Buffalo health bars all day long, they are healthy treats intended for intermittent or supplemental feeding only. So, I think that means that you've had enough. I'm sorry. I know they're delicious. I agree that you deserve treats all the time. I know you are beautiful and perfect and wonderful, and we all love you. But we gotta keep you fit and healthy, because you gotta stay with Mama forever. Forever. Hey, true story. Thank you so much, Catherine Gaston, you are an angel. Thank you. That's gonna help get more treats. I saw that right before it crashed. I'm like, no. You can't beat the Ava show. It's the best part, right? Have I given you your hello? Hi, Lisette Panette, just in case I didn't. Thanks for being here. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that it came back up. Oh my gosh, I know it scared the bejesus out of me. Oof. Well, I didn't. I didn't even hit the eject button this time. I don't even have the eject button anymore. So I now have 2 dongles plugged into my computer. So the mouse that has the eject button is on the docket harvesting computer. And I'm using the one that Becky D gave me when I first started streaming, the silent mouse. So as long as I use it on the mouse pad from Dolphins, it's silent. If I use it on my desk, not so much. So, so I have to trade the mouse pad between the 2 mice. Oh, she is too. You should have seen her. Did you see her the first time? Yeah, you were here. You were here. Well, she had 4, so she's done. Hello, Rocky Lennon. Welcome, sweetie. Oh my goodness. We got everybody. Is everybody? Hi, Shane. How you doing, honey? Welcome in. Welcome. Oh, I have some dockets you would love. I usually edit as much of those out as possible because not many people like that so much. I don't mind it. As long as it's not excessive, I don't mind it. But there are some dockets where it's like, golly, do I even try? Because it covers up part of the speaking as well. And that makes it very, very difficult to edit. Yeah, pretty much. My co-hosts, all of my co-hosts. Yep. Why? I beat him. I'm still the reigning champion. What's it been? 4 games? We need some more. We need some more games. Shane and I have had a Discord competition with checkers, and I love teasing him about it because he's so good about it. He lets me make fun of him for it. He's a really good player, though. He is. He's a really good player. Just not as good as me. No. I'm kidding, Shane. I'm kidding. I probably just got lucky. Oh my gosh, it is. Oh, honey. You've got that right. I have the best chat and the best mods in all of YouTube land, for sure. For sure. Actually, it's for sure around here. Oh my gosh. So my daughter has this, like, I don't know if it's a face cream or a facial cleanser or something. There's something on the sink, and it says positively radiant. And do you know, I actually got annoyed that it didn't say positively because I'm turning everything into PAWFURM puns. Every time I look at that bottle, I'm annoyed that it doesn't say that. How dare they spell it correctly? Oh, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. That's ours. That's ours. Right there. Yep. It's about as bad as we get. Hi, Mortimer Duke. Welcome. Good to have you here, bud. Yeah. Yeah. They are. And they're just hilarious. Oh my gosh. A lot of it happens in the chat, but oh, yeah. And then you throw Palmy in the mix too. And he's so funny and quick-witted. And he loves to tease Emily, like, about their, like, giant pool fight of Jell-O and thumbtacks, I guess. Oh. Yeah. Was that Emily? Give me a second, guys. Because she abandoned me for a second. No. Oh no, it's Palmy. It's Palmy. Hi, Palmy. He can't chat right now, guys, because he's working, but he's still with us in spirit. He's here. We miss him. But okay, so tonight's docket. Oh goodness. I have a wife who's just trying to get the court order enforced, and a man playing games. That's always fun to watch. That is always fun to watch. I am grateful he changed his name to Sir Philip. Grateful. All right, guys, I am going to get the docket started. Sorry, I had to
Morsinger on behalf of the non-movement, Moses West.
Okay, thank you. I understand we're here on Ms. Peters' motion for enforcement. If I've looked at this right, we are here on her motion for enforcement of property settlement and final decree of divorce filed on November 15th, 2023.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, you want to begin with a brief opening statement, Mr. Molinar?
Thank you, Your Honor. At first, I'd like to ask the court to take judicial notice of the file. And if you'll refer to page 8 of the final decree of divorce, either or the motion for enforcement, the terms of the divorce were that Mr. West would pay Miss Peters $50,000, with $10,000 being paid within 90 days, and then monthly payments of $1,666.66 for 24 months. Salute. Bless you. Since that time, Mr. West, has made some payments, but it's the nature of the payments that is particularly galling, I guess you could say. In March of 2023, he paid $2,000. And then in April of 2023, he paid $100 and put a memo on it: mental health issue support ordered by TH. I have no idea what that is, but it's clearly some sort of jab at my client. Then he paid $100, then he paid $100, then he paid $10 in July of 23. In August, he paid $5. In September, he paid $5. In October, he paid $2. In November, he paid $1.25. In January, he paid $1.25. In February, he paid $1. In March, he paid $1.25. And then again in March, he paid $1.50. So in total.
Hold on 1 second. Mr. West got booted off and I'm having to let Mr. West go ahead and turn on your camera, please. Okay, thank you. All right. So the total you allege he's paid.
The total that's been paid is $2278.25 out of the $50,000. But I think you're going to hear argument from counsel that these low payments are some kind of test to see if it was working, but there are so numerous of them that are clearly just insulting and meant to be insulting. Mr. West has been difficult, to say the least. We tried to serve him in San Antonio. He spoke to the process server and claimed to be at a certain address and that he would meet him there, and then did not. And then finally, his attorney, after several attempts of him telling the process server he would be at this address, his attorney accepted service. So now here we are 5 months later, and he has paid a grand total of nothing since it was filed. Now, it's also important to note that during the course of the divorce, Mr. West was arrested for assault on my client, and this continues a pattern of control.
Objection, Your Honor. That's raised judicata.
I don't know how that was resolved in this case. If counsel wants to,
you know what, it's not anything really that's relevant for me to decide.
Okay.
So
okay, Your Honor.
I think just what you've told me is concerning enough. If there's it was an agreed decree, and
yeah,
and I will say that even if there were these dollar payments, $1.25 were a test, they were months ago, and I will not be inclined to think that that should be given any grace, or, I mean, could have been fixed a long time ago, should have been fixed a long time ago. This judgment bears interest, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay. All right. So you're requesting.
So, I mean, that's the gist of it. So he's paid $2278.25, and that's exhibit 1, that the only exhibit that we have indicating all the payments. And I will represent that the payment on 3/21/24 indicates on the exhibit 125. That's actually $1.25. That's a typo. I don't know if Mr. Orsinger has an objection to that exhibit, but that's the only one I have, and I would offer to enter it because
we're just doing opening statements.
I know. I just, in the interest of time, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Anyway,
that's the gist of it.
He sounds like such a great guy. I don't have any idea why the relationship didn't work out. He's so sweet.
Mr. Orsinger, do you contest any of this, or if there's an agreed decree, shouldn't I enforce it if it hadn't been paid?
I agree, Your Honor. I agree with what Mr. Molnar said with regards to the amount that is owed, the amount that Mr. West agreed to pay Ms. Peters, and the time frame under which he agreed to pay it. I don't believe that Mr. West was intending to be insulting by making the payments that he made at the time that he made them, although I don't think that's either here nor there. I think what's most important for the court to hear is that there is an amount of money that's owed. There is an arrearage because that money hasn't been paid yet. The evidence that we're going to put on through Mr. West's testimony is that he doesn't have or hasn't had the ability to pay that, but that he has a plan going forward for how to pay that and make sure that it gets paid in a timely manner. Though ultimately, as you'll hear, we would request a little bit of an extension on the time frame to pay it. That $50,000 that you'll see in the divorce decree was to be paid in that lump sum of $10,000 initially, and then the remaining 40 over 2 years. Mr. West would like an additional 4 months.
How can I change? That is a final judgment. How can I change what he agreed to for payments that haven't been done yet?
Well, Your Honor, the court.
I don't have the authority to modify that decree, do I?
Correct. You do. That is not the question. The question is, even if you find Mr. West in contempt for not fulfilling his obligations under the divorce decree, there's still got to be a plan for how it gets paid, and it can't just be pay all that money tomorrow, because that's not how contempt judgments work for large sums of cash. So what we're looking at here is how do we put together a situation where Mr. West is capable of paying the money that he owes to Ms. Peters, that we don't contest that he owes, because of course he does, and he agreed to it. The situation that we find ourselves in right now is how do we make sure that that actually happens, and that we don't put A1 in a position where they're set up to fail.
Your Honor, if I may respond briefly, I don't know. I don't even know where to begin, because we're not modifying the order.
No, we're not, because I don't have the authority to do that.
So that he owes what he owes, either he can pay it or he can't. And in that case, he can be found in contempt, pay attorney's fees, pay fines, and go to jail if he needs to.
And he put himself in this position. The court is not putting him in this position. He did this.
And if there's some kind of plan, I haven't been heard of it other than that he may be applying for a line of credit. And if that is the case, I'm happy to reset this for, I mean, without knowing the plan, I don't know. But if they want a reset of some kind without waiving all of any rights to contempt, jail time, fines, or attorney's fees, and they think they can come up with a lump sum number and he is ordered to return in 30 days, then that's fine. But I have not heard of any such plan, because obviously my client would rather get what she is owed, but
well, and the taxpayers of this county would rather she get what she is owed rather than my having to throw him in jail and give him a work release if he doesn't.
Well, so, I agree, but I mean, Mr. Orsinger can say what he wants about the payments in less than $5, but they are clearly just insulting. I mean, why would you pay $1 or $1.25? I mean, why would you literally pay $1.25 if it's not just this is what you get and that's all you get?
Well, I don't know.
We've got an answer for that if you'd like to hear it, but I don't really think it's all that important.
I want to hear it.
Issue, which is how much money owed.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll let counsel provide what his plan is, but as I said, it's been literally, let's see, since the divorce was December 14th, 2022. It's been a year and a half. And of the 50,000, he's paid 22 or 2,700. So whatever this.
Hold on. Have y'all talked? Do you want to talk, or do you want me just to hear evidence? But I mean, I will say, starting at this, I can't change the judgment. I can find him in contempt for not doing what he agreed to do, and I can decide whether to throw him in jail immediately.
Well, with regards to the jail, Your Honor, we haven't been served with a notice to appear, so we don't have criminal contempt on the table.
Okay. Well, I guess I could make another order and we can reset it and see what happens. Have y'all talked? Is there a plan to get it paid?
I've talked to my client. I can give a time frame. I can't give, and if Mr. Molnar would like to discuss it and then talk to Ms. Peters about that and see if that's acceptable, I'd be
Imagine
happy
why
to.
y'all didn't do that for the last 3 or 4 hours while you were waiting for me to get to you. I mean, I'm
The
happy.
only offer that I've heard so far is $500 a month.
I don't want to hear offers. I mean, that's not appropriate. So if you don't want to talk, that's fine. I'll hear the evidence and I'll make a ruling. But is Mr. Molinar, I don't care. I mean,
Ray, do you want to go into a breakout room for? 10
Yeah, I'm
minutes?
happy to hear what you have to say, but I haven't, like, I don't know why I haven't heard about it till now, but all right, that's cool. Yeah.
I can explain that, but okay. Would you, Your Honor, please put us in a breakout room for
just the attorneys or the.
yes, Your Honor, just the attorneys.
All right. Create. Sign. All right, and y'all go talk and you can come back in a minute. And I'll hear the evidence and I'll make orders. I encourage you all to try to work something out. All right, you should be getting, there you go. The rest of y'all just stand by, please. Okay, I understand that, Mr. Orsinger, you want to go to a breakout room with your client?
Yes,
Is that
please, Your
right?
Honor.
Okay, let me do that. Hold on. Close all rooms. Close all rooms. Hold on. Breakout room. Add a room. Open rooms. Okay. Fine. No. Let me see how to. This is not good because somebody else always does this for me. Let me see. Options. Okay, I think that y'all can choose to Mr. Orsinger and Mr. West. Mr. West, why don't you choose to go into room 2? Does that work?
If I can figure out how to do that.
I think there's a over the more button on the right, the bottom right, there's a word more. If you click on that, it might give you the option.
No, hold on, maybe
Is that right, Judge?
It's not, hold on. Main session, hold on. Raymond Molinar, move to main session. Not joined.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
I went on a magical journey. I don't know how that happened. I'm sorry.
I know, I'm sure I messed it up. I'm gonna close all, Mr. Orsinger's and all the. Mr. West is still here. Hold on, it's gonna close in a second. There, okay. All right, let me see if I can. Miss Chambers is gone. That's the problem. I gotta breakout rooms, open all.
Judge, at the bottom, it says recreate or add a room. I wonder if you could just
I
start
have
over.
a room and I've got Mr. Orsinger moved there, but no, hold on. Open rooms, recreate, okay. It's assigned manually, recreate, okay. Room 2. There we go. Moses West and Stephen Orsinger. Okay. There you go. Y'all should get something to join Mr. West and Mr. Orsinger. You're going to go there. There you go. All right. We'll stand by. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I was muted. Mr. Molinar, Peters, and Miss Prima. Are y'all ready? Okay. Mr. Molinar? Well, we can't really get started till Mr. Molinar and Miss Peters turn on their camera.
Sorry, Judge.
All right. What about your client? There you go. All right. Yes, Mr. Orsinger.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Molinar spoke in a breakout room, and I believe that we have reached an agreement on the hearing for today. And Mr. Molinar, jump in if I am misstating anything based on our agreement. But Mr. West has agreed to pay Ms. Peters $5,000 within the next 30 days and to make payments consistent with the decree thereafter. And we're going to reset Ms. Peters' hearing on the enforcement for June the 22nd, 23rd, or 20. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
It's 19th, 20th, or 21st.
Correct. 19th, 20th, or 21st, based on how the docket looks. Just as an update hearing to give Mr. Molinar an opportunity to have Mr. West personally served with a notice to appear, so that the requirements of due process are fulfilled.
Well, Then we need to pick a date and I will order Mr. West to appear in person on whatever that day is.
That works great for me, Your Honor. Any of those 3 days was fine with me and Mr. Molinar. Was the court like, and what does the docket look like?
Yeah, I mean, that was our only question, judges. We didn't have a time to look at how many hours were on each day, but I'm available either one of them.
Well, you can't set it on the 19th because that's that county holiday.
Okay, well then the 20th it is,
All right,
and we'll avoid the Friday.
What is that holiday?
Juneteenth.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought that was on Monday. Okay. So 20th.
All right, so I'll get hold of Mr. Stokes and have him reset. How long do we need to be reset that day?
An hour at the most.
Okay.
Agreed.
Now, all right, so let me have both clients unmute themselves and raise your right hand to be sworn. Raise your right hands to be sworn. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr.
I
West?
do.
All right, thank you. You can put your hands down. All right, Mr. Molinar, do you want to call your client or Mr. West?
I'll call my client, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Ms. Peters, can you please state your full name for the record?
Stacy Lee Peters.
Stacy Peters, Ms. Peters, you understand that today we're here for an enforcement of money owed by Mr. West to you, correct?
Yes.
And you understand that we are resetting this case until June 20th with the understanding that Mr. West will pay $5,000 by then and make regular payments thereafter, correct?
Correct.
And that we are not dismissing our motion for enforcement, but leaving it open and resetting it in the event that he does not pay.
Yes.
Okay. And in the event that he does not pay at the next hearing, we will be seeking that he be incarcerated. Do you understand this as well?
Yes.
And do you understand that he is ordered to appear for the next hearing?
Yes.
Okay. And is that your agreement today to reset it to the 20th with the understanding that he will pay $5,000 and make regular payments thereafter?
Yes.
Failing to do so, we will reset, or I'm sorry, we will go forward on the 20th for contempt and attorney's fees and incarceration.
Yes. I have a question, but he's going to pay the attorney's fees for today, correct?
That is reserved for the final hearing, but that is be something that we will be asking for. Obviously, that cannot guarantee that because that's up to the judge, but that is something that's reserved for final hearing. So
Okay.
do you understand that that will be something that we will be seeking at final hearing if we need to do so?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Orsinger, do you have any questions for Ms. Peters?
No questions from Ms. Peters, Your Honor.
Mr. Orsinger, you want to call Mr. West?
I would like to.
Go ahead.
Mr. West, will you please state your name for the record?
Moses Alto West.
And you have heard the arguments of counsel and the statements of our agreement here on the record today. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Do you agree to the terms of that, specifically that you will pay Ms. Peters $5,000 within the next 30 days,
Yes, that's correct.
and thereafter comply with the divorce decree?
Yes, that's correct.
And you also heard the order from the court to appear for a status hearing on June the 20th to confirm your compliance with this agreement that you're making today?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. And you've made this agreement after an opportunity to think about it and to confer with counsel. Is that correct?
This is correct.
All righty. No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
And by think about it, his lawyer means don't do this again because you're going to be thinking about it from an 8x8 cell with one of those fancy toilet sink combos.
Having heard the agreement of the parties, I will render judgment on that agreement. So nobody can change their mind. Mr. Molinar, I think you ought to draft a little order reflecting that.
Mhm.
Mr. West, you are given notice to appear in person in court at the Civil and Family Court Facility located at 1700 Guadalupe, Austin, Texas, on June the 20th at 9 a.m. for a status conference. You've been given notice to appear, and if you don't appear, well, there could be consequences. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
And if you all work out an agreement and the hearing doesn't need to go forward, you put that in writing, and Mr. West will know he doesn't have to appear, but otherwise he must be here. Okay?
Understood, Your Honor.
Understood, Your Honor. And this is, in my understanding, just for the purposes of clarification, that this satisfies the requirement that he has been personally served with an order to appear, and it is subject to incarceration if he fails to.
He has been given open court notice to appear in person and will be subject to the issuance of a capias to be picked up and incarcerated if he doesn't appear as he has been ordered and as he has agreed to do.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for working that out. I'll be sure and get the hearing set right now.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you, Your Honor. And do we still need to announce for that, though, the week before?
Yeah, y'all have to announce. I'll get it set
Gotcha.
for you. You'll need to announce.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
How do you think that breakout room session went with the two attorneys? I think it was something like, hey, man, give me a break. Come on, please. You gotta. My client, he's being a giant jerk face. I'm doing the best I can. Just work with me. I think there had to have been a little bit of growling going on. I mean, I don't know about lawyer etiquette, but there had to have been some begging. Oh my gosh. I love seeing new friends come in too. That's my favorite thing. And he's already been funny. I love when they're funny. Hi, Billy. Oh, how you doing, bud? How you doing? Need your scritches? I know. I loved it. I'm sorry you had to wash it twice. Oh, hi. Thank you for the kisses. I was so happy because I had not seen that courtroom before, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what's in here. And it was that. I couldn't have been happier. And I do have another one, and this one was suggested. This is Billy O.T. He's named after the Wellerman. And then the other one that is around here, his name is Earl Grey the cat. And this one is mine. The other one is my daughter's. And then the dog is Ava. And she's out going potty right now. Oh, thank you. Did you get him? Oh. Oh, I was hoping that Joey Bag of Donuts would get you with that membership. That's a common thing around here. The gifted memberships. He's got like Cupid's arrow aim. He just boom, and yeah, he usually gets who he's aiming for. Oh, you're just gonna climb right into the treat drawer, huh? You're like, these kisses are bogus, Mom. I'm done. Wait. Billy, if I open this, your brother's probably gonna come. He's sleeping next to his toy right now, but You know he smells this from a mile away. This is one of their favorite things. This was a gift. I don't remember. Okay. So I believe this was from the anonymous PAWFURM supporter who said just to keep them a secret. Secret admirer. Hi. It's also Earl's favorite thing. Here, you got some on my thumb. Take it. Get what's on my thumb. Don't worry about what your brother's doing. Thank you. Oh, just a kidder, when you go back and watch the first half hour of the stream is playtime with the pets and chatting and joking around. And one of the very first things I did was yesterday I had discussed a 4-in-1 cat toy with a built-in laser pointer. And it's the cat's and dog's favorite toy. So yesterday I talked about that, and I didn't have the toy handy. It wasn't charged up. So today I grabbed it and showed everybody. Don't worry, Earl. You know I always open a second one when both of you are here. Okay, Billy, you got to turn this way. Earl, come on over. Earl, come. All right, we're going to Lady and Tramp style this one. Oh, these guys are so funny. You'd think they're starving. You'd think they never get fed by the way they act. But I promise you all, I feed them. But these are the Temptations Prey. This one happens to be frickin' chicken. And that's a long time joke that goes back to. Oh my gosh, you guys. You two are the cutest things in the world. I love you so much. All right. Who's got it? Who's got it? Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Earl Grey is the tech kitty. He's always messing with the computers. Billy O.T., we call him Lawyer Kitty. He's very matter of fact and diplomatic about everything. Like if I'm giving him chest scritches, when he's done, he will just take his paw and put it on top of my hand and push my hand down like I'm done. Ava, she's the CEO of the PAWFURM. And it's not FIRM, of course. It's FURM, the PAWFURM. And they help me run these court dockets. They also help with editing, as the chat has seen many times. Billy will lay on my hand while I edit and not let me do a darn thing. Earl will bat at the computer as the little bar that goes over the sound waves. Earl chases that. he's actually a little more of a detriment than Billy is, because he actually swats the computer, whereas Billy just keeps my hand from moving as much. Oh, thank you again, Catherine Gaston. Thank you. You are just so awesome. I never said I trust him. I just said I love him. Hey, Deanna Miller, welcome. Yeah, lawyer Kitty passed the bar. Yep, absolutely. I swear he's the smartest one of all of them. Ava, the CEO, she's dumb as a post. I love her. I love her. Don't get me wrong. She really is. She's just so darn cute and funny. Oh my gosh, is she funny. She does a Chewbacca call when she has to go potty. When it's on recording, it just sounds like a growl. But when she does it in front of me, she's literally like, it's so hilarious. Oh my gosh, it's the funniest thing. My gosh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Man, I am going to need to get you the absolute biggest, bestest Christmas card of all time. You are so awesome. Oh, he probably will. I'm sorry. I know you really loved Stray Kitty. Billy started out as Stray Kitty. He was Stray Kitty for 2 months before he trusted me. Oh, honey. You sleep good. Thank you for coming. I know you can watch the next case tomorrow, honey. She must be a day shifter. Thank you. Now she'll be able to watch the members only streams. I gotta do another one of those. It's been a minute. We gotta have a members only stream, because then that also goes into the Discord too as being a members only thing. All right, guys. I gotta go get Ava back in, and I gotta wash my hands. I know I used these disinfectant wipes, but you're not supposed to use those on your hands, and that's probably why my hands are so dry and cracked out, is because I've been washing my desk with them. My beautiful, beautiful desk. But Ava's now barking, probably at the neighbor's dogs. Now this one it's Judge Ricky. And it was suggested to me. For the life of me, though, I am so sorry. I can't remember who put me onto this one. I had downloaded it, but I had not yet even looked at it. And when I did, I was like, wow, that's a heck of a situation. Yeah. And his attorney's trying. It's actually a preliminary hearing to see if it will get bound over. So let's find out if it does.
Judge, before we start taking testimony, I'd like to have all the witnesses sequestered, please.
And Mr. Costello, you need to remove your hat. You're in court. Thank you. Appreciate that.
If we can start the record now. This is State of Kansas versus Peter Mobile. It's case number 2024 CR 38. Defendant appears from the jail Zoom location. Joseph Fabre is defense counsel. Amber Norris is prosecuting attorney. This matter comes before the court at this time for evidentiary preliminary hearing. State may call the first witness. However, at this time, the court will direct that any witness not called be sequestered. Who is the first witness, Ms. Norris?
Your Honor, state would call Lieutenant Jacob Lawrence.
All right. Everyone else that may be called as a witness in the case needs to be put in a waiting room. Lieutenant Lawrence can come on fully and I'll administer an oath to him. You do solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the matter now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may question the witness, Ms. Norris.
Please state your name and occupation for the record.
Jacob Lawrence. I'm a lieutenant with the Butler County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been in law enforcement?
Since March of 2011, so approximately 13 years.
Okay. And when you work in your capacity as a law enforcement officer on January 25th of 2024?
Yes, I was.
And on that day, we called out for a rolling disturbance of some variety?
Yes, I was. Well,
Okay, can you explain
yes.
how that happened and kind of where that was happening in the county?
Yes, dispatch actually dispatched pretty much any road deputy in the area between Augusta and Andover that they'd received a call from Central County dispatch,
Lawrence?
Central County 911 of a rolling disturbance traveling over. Yes.
Okay, for a
Hello?
second there, you were dragging and it was getting really hard to understand you. So just, I guess, kind of keep an eye on that. And I don't know if there's anywhere else in your house that has even better signal, or wherever you're at.
Okay. I'll try to slow down then. We received a call from actually Sedgwick County 911 dispatch advising there was a rolling disturbance entering our county from the west, traveling east on Kellogg or 54 Highway, that had actually traveled through Andover and was between Andover and Augusta, in which during the disturbance, the victims reported a firearm being brandished at them.
Okay, so did everyone get stopped regarding this rolling disturbance? Where was that, and how did that go?
Through communications with dispatch and with the victims. The victim was supposedly driving a Ford pickup pulling a trailer, and the suspect was driving an Infiniti SUV with a paper license plate. They actually traveled through Augusta, continuing eastbound on 54 Highway, in which around the area of Haverhill, the suspects turned around and began traveling back westbound. At that point, I contacted Augusta and requested them to be on the lookout for the suspect vehicle, since it was going to be traveling back towards their city. And I actually had dispatch contact the victims back and request them to pull over so I could personally make contact with them and take the report and find out exactly what was going on.
Okay, so did you make contact with the victims at that point?
Yes, I did.
And where was that at?
It was Leon Grocery on Highway 400, just directly east of Leon, Kansas.
Okay, and what did they, who were the named victims and what did they tell you had happened?
The victims were identified as, and if I can, there was 3 of them. If I can refer to my reports to make sure I get the names correctly.
You may do so.
Okay. Driver of the truck was Sean Miller. Or excuse me, there was a Sean Miller, David Costello, and a juvenile. And I'm going to have to refer, trying to find in my narrative the juvenile's actual name. His initials are SM in my Sean Miller was a juvenile, Chris Miller and David Castillo, sorry.
Okay, and so, and was it Chris Miller you said that was driving, or?
Chris Miller was the driver.
Okay. And, what did they explain that had happened?
They advised actually in Wichita, the silver SUV had began what they described as chasing them and following them, driving recklessly, pulling up beside them. As they continued into Butler County, they advised they traveled actually through Andover and were between Andover and Augusta when the vehicle actually pulled up beside them. The passenger window was rolled down and the driver had began yelling at them to pull over and that he wanted to talk and he did not want to hurt them. And at that point actually pointed a black and colored handgun at them.
And before we get further testimony here, I know I had received an email from Ms. Norris that the victims are all here. I'm assuming that these three individuals are here to corroborate statements and that we're not having a hearsay situation here, correct?
They're all under subpoena. They're all in the waiting room.
Okay.
Well,
Just wanted to.
Now, were you able to get a description of the driver, the person that was yelling the comments and utilizing the gun?
Yes, I was.
And were you able to locate that person?
Yes, we were.
And I guess what was the description and where did you locate that person and were you able to identify him?
The description provided by all three subjects was that it was a white male, dark hair with a gray hoodie, jeans, and they described it as a necklace with a Jesus piece or Jesus emblem on it, which matched the description of, well, I'll wait for further questioning on that. Sorry. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
That's okay. No, were you able to locate the person that they described and where was that?
Yes, we were. While I was making contact with the victims in this case, Chief Todd Ackerman located the silver SUV pulling into Augusta, and it actually stopped at the Casey's General Store in Augusta, Kansas. And they were able to, along with other deputies who responded to his location, were able to identify everybody in the vehicle, including the driver, Peter Mogel.
Okay, and so did and the driver, Peter Mogel, did fit the description given to you by the three victims?
Yes, Peter Mogel was found to have dark hair, was wearing a gray hoodie, blue jeans, and had a necklace matching the description provided by the victims.
Okay. Now, did you have contact with Mr. Mogel?
Yes, I did.
Where and when?
Due to all the information gathered from the victims and the incident, Miguel was transported to the Butler County Sheriff's Office, where I made contact with him at our office in an interview room and conducted an interview with him.
Okay. And do you see the person that you identified as Peter Mogel and interviewed on January 25th of this year?
I'm trying. I apologize. My phone's actually on a screen to where it's not allowing me to scroll to the side to be able to see everybody. I know I did view him prior to being sequestered and starting. He had an orange jumpsuit on. Looked like he had legal books or kind of a I guess you could say filter of legal books and stuff in the background. But for some reason right now, my phone is not letting me scroll to the side to see all the I guess you could say photos or people allowed to be seen right now.
Court will find that he's adequately described the defendant and identified him.
Now, so you do an interview with Mr. Mogel at the Sheriff's Department office?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did he talk to you about this incident? This,
Yes, he did.
and he admitted that he was the driver of the vehicle that was being reported?
Yes, he did.
Okay, and what else did he tell you about this incident?
He corroborated the story that it began in Wichita. He told me that this whole incident began because he believed that one of the boys in the truck, one of the victims, had been messaging or attempting to date his daughter, who was 12 years old, and that he was pursuing or chasing after them because he wanted them to pull over so he could talk with them.
And did you do a search of the vehicle that he was driving?
I did not. No, I was with the victims while numerous other law enforcement officers were at Casey's with the vehicle.
Okay. And was there a gun located when they did the search that you're aware of?
No, there was not.
Was there packaging for a gun located?
Yeah. Yes, there was empty packaging for a Beretta airsoft gun, which had a photo on it, which showed the photo of the Beretta airsoft gun as a black and colored handgun, or looking like a black and colored handgun, matching the description provided by the three boys in the truck or the victims.
Okay. And did you take the defendants to the county? I mean, did you eventually, I guess, arrest Mr. Mogel, the defendant?
Yes, he was placed under arrest.
And why did you place him under arrest?
Throughout the totality of the circumstances and totality of the case, even including the point that we were able to recover the Beretta handgun in the area of 54 in Haverhill, where the Infinity had turned around. And through my interview with Mr. Miguel, he even admitted that the handgun was an airsoft gun, had been thrown out of the vehicle in that location. I placed him under arrest for aggravated assault, criminal threat, and I believe endangering of a child, along with some other charges.
And you arrested him for endangering a child.
Yes.
Why?
Due again to the information gathered, the vehicle chasing, or Mr. Mogul chasing the truck into Butler County, along with the information that he brandished the firearm, which they believed to be a real firearm, and pointed it at all three victims, or all three kids in the truck, including the 16-year-old Mr. Miller. Due to him being under 18 years old, I arrested him for the aggravated endangering of a juvenile or a minor.
Okay.
I don't think anybody would fault him for wanting to talk to someone attempting to date his 12-year-old daughter. However, everything else that he did, if that were true, was way over the top. I mean, that would have been, way over the top. Even in dad mode, if that were true.
Okay. And then did you take him, did you do the arrest, take him to the jail?
No, I did not.
And who did that?
A deputy, Scott McMurphy, transported him to the jail and also seized all the clothing, including the necklace and everything, as evidence that Mr. Mogul was wearing from the
Okay,
jail.
and did you request any additional charges after he was taken to the jail?
Yes, I did.
And why did you request additional charges? And what were those?
I was advised that during the process inside the correctional facility where Mr. Mogul was pretty much strip searched, or his clothing was seized inside the correctional facility, that a bag of crystalline substance fell out of one of his boots inside the facility that was later tested through our TrueNarc and sent by the KBI, and it tested positive as methamphetamine. Due to it being inside the correctional facility, I also booked him in for trafficking in contraband, specifically into a correctional facility, specifically methamphetamine.
No way.
And when individuals go into the jail, they basically go into the Sally Port and then explain kind of, I guess, the levels they go through, and then if there's any signage regarding contraband.
Yes. Once entering into the Sally Port, you go through 2 secure doors to go into the booking area. There is signage on the outside of those 2 secure doors, identifying that once entering inside, you are entering in a correctional facility. And as for no contraband can be trafficked any further. And I believe it even states the KSA number.
And as part of your investigation, are you doing your reports? Did you look into the defendant, Mr. Mogul's criminal history?
I know that I was able to find out that he was on, I believe, probation or parole through Sedgwick County, and I did make contact with his probation or parole officer. I can't remember the name though. But besides
What's the
that,
relevance of his prior criminal history, Ms. Norris?
Your Honor, the reason I was asking was just if he'd had any discussions with him regarding, just prior arrests and prior time in other correctional facilities.
Because she wants to say that he would have known by his other arrests that bringing contraband into a facility is a no-no. That's why she's trying to ask that question.
But it
I would
doesn't sound like
object
they
I would
did.
object the relevance of that.
Objection is sustained.
And
Any question the witness further, Ms. Norris?
Lieutenant Lawrence, have you seen the KBI lab report?
I have not. No, unfortunately, for some reason, we're not getting those. I guess I've noticed this in a couple of cases, but the county attorney's office has been getting them, so I have not been able to review it. No.
Lieutenant Lawrence, I'm not sure that I have any additional questions for you, but I'm sure Mr. Fabre will have some follow-up. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Fabre?
Yes, Lieutenant. So I want to kind of parse out which parts of the investigation were yours versus which parts were other officers. All right. Because there was a lot of information coming through. Some of it sounded like it was gathered from other officers. It sounds to me like you were the one who spoke to the alleged victims in this case in Leon. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
You did not speak to Mr. Mogul at the time he was stopped at the Casey's in Augusta. Is that correct?
No, I did not. First time I made contact with Mr. Mogul was after he was transported to the sheriff's office where I conducted my interview.
Very good. And that was after he was already brought in, past booking. So you didn't do any of that, transporting him to booking or walking him past those signs or any of that stuff, correct?
He was transported first to the Butler County Sheriff's Office where I conducted but no, I did not transport him to the jail or anything. No, I did not.
You didn't walk him past the signs that day to book him, or you did not personally book him in, correct?
No, I did not.
Okay. You said that was I think you said a Deputy McMurphy, is that right?
Yes, Deputy Scott McMurphy.
Okay. Now, so in regards to your interactions that day with Mr. Mogul, you did not actually see him commit any offenses. you're the charging officer based on what other people have stated and observed Mr. Mogul doing. Is that correct?
Yes, off the totality information gathered from the investigation.
Sure. And so let's talk about that information you gathered. First of all, you took statements from the 3 alleged victims at the Leon grocery. And I didn't hear much testimony about this. I guess we'll get that from them, but let's get forward to Mr. Mogul's actually. You mentioned that Mr. Mogul mentioned that he was in a high-speed chase that day, correct?
I don't believe he described it as a high-speed chase, but he involved that he was chasing them. Yes.
Did you write the affidavit in this report?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you have that in front of you, Lieutenant?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so paragraph 16, I think you say that he admitted to being in a road rage incident. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is accurate.
Okay, and that he was the one driving the Infiniti as well. Did he also mention that the boys were acting aggressively towards him?
Yes, he did state that during the interview.
Did he admit that he had made hand gestures to pull over the truck?
Yes, he admitted to pulling up beside the driver's side of the truck and making hand gestures for them to pull over. Yes.
Did he ever admit that he had brandished the gun towards them or pointed out the window?
No, he never did admit that. No.
Okay. Let's see. Did he ever say he had the firearm on him?
No, he never admitted to having the firearm on him. He just did admit, after quite a bit of questioning, he finally did admit that the firearm was in the vehicle.
Yes. And he said that there was other individuals in the vehicle with him that day, if I recall correctly from your statements. Is that right?
Yes, there was a total of 3 people found in the vehicle.
Okay. And the passenger is an individual by the name of Napier, I believe?
Yes.
Okay. And did he tell you that Napier is the one who had the firearm?
Yes, he did.
Okay. All right. And you were not the one who actually recovered the firearm on the side of the road, correct?
No, I was not.
Okay. Let's see. And let's see. Did you try to get any kind of forensic evidence off the firearm pieces that were recovered? Or to your knowledge?
I did not. I believe Detective Carmen Sperry actually conducted that part of the investigation the next day.
Okay. All right. Okay. No further questions for this witness.
Anything further for this witness, Ms. Norris?
Your Honor, I don't think so, but actually I would like for him to stick around, and wherever the court wishes for him to be for purposes of that.
If you think you might recall him, I'm going to go ahead and have him sequestered again. So let's put Mr. Lawrence in a waiting room for now, Mandy. If you
And
please
Your
stay
Honor-
with the meeting, Mr. Lawrence. Okay. Your next witness?
And Your Honor, as the court received the document with the KBI lab report.
No, can you share screen it?
Yes, I will do that. Let me move this over here.
Is there any objection by the defense for the purposes of this hearing, Mr. Favre?
No objection, Your Honor.
Make sure that's one moment, Your Honor. Okay.
Okay, can you
And-
scroll down? Okay. If you could scroll up one more time. Very well. Court will admit the report into evidence.
And Your Honor, state would call Chris Miller.
Okay, if we can let Mr. Miller into the meeting.
Was that the Galaxy A10?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Chris?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. And is that Sean with you?
Yes, this is Sean.
Okay, Sean's just gonna need to leave the room while
Okay.
you testify, okay?
No problem.
All right,
Okay,
judge is gonna swear you in now, okay?
Raise your right hand, please.
Yes,
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the matter now in hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
yes,
You may proceed, Ms. Norris.
Please state your name for the record.
Chris Miller,
Okay, and Chris, what's your full name?
Chris Matthew Miller.
Okay, and did you end up having contact with law enforcement on January 25th of this year?
Yes,
Okay, and was that over here in Butler? Do you live in Sedgwick County or Butler County?
I live in Houston, Texas.
Okay, so
was-
neither.
Yes, I was out there working when this whole incident actually happened.
And I just have to say, I don't know where this kid is originally from. I don't think that's a Texan accent, but whatever his accent is, I could listen to him talk for days. Love his accent.
Okay. So working in Sedgwick County in
Yes.
Wichita?
In Wichita, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you ended up in Butler County.
Yes.
And can you explain to the court basically what happened? Why you ended up having to need to talk to law enforcement?
Okay. That morning we woke up and we was actually heading to an appointment, meet up with another gentleman, and we wind up stopping to a gas station, and that's when I believe his name is Petey, if I'm pronouncing that right. Wind up meeting him at a gas station. He was arguing with another male and female in a vehicle, and then he proceeded to ask me for a ride. He also asked me for drugs, and that's kind of when I pushed him off. You know, we finished our business at the gas station, we put gas, and we got up on the freeway. And that's when the whole incident started, where he chased us from county to county, pulled out the firearm, you know, threatened us to pull over, pointed at us, chased us, made us run multiple red lights, tried cutting us off the road. And that's when we contacted the law enforcement.
Okay. So before this, did you know the defendant?
No, I have never seen him a day.
Oh, your volume just went mute. I'm gonna need, there you go.
My phone's cutting off.
Okay, so I can hear you now.
Okay.
But did you say that you had never seen him before?
No, I have never seen him. Don't know him whatsoever.
Okay. And about how fast are you going when this chase is happening?
I was speeding close to 90 mile an hour at some points, and I was also hauling a trailer with me, trying to get away from him.
Okay, so and what were you driving with the trailer?
It was a F-250 Ford. It's actually my my buddy's truck that was with me.
And who's your buddy?
That would be David. So
Okay. And who else was with you besides David Costello?
my brother, Sean Miller.
Okay. And how close is this other vehicle getting to you, and can you tell who's driving it?
Yes, it was Petey driving it. He rolled on with him multiple times, and he was getting extremely close. There was some points where I had to get over into ditches to try to get away from him. He would cut on top of us, slam brakes. He was getting extremely close. He was, you know, putting us at danger. To be honest, that sometimes we was doing 70, 80 mile an hour, and he would get up on the side of us and try to cut us off and throw us in the
Okay.
ditch.
So try to get in front of you or veer you into the ditch?
Yes, I'm guessing trying to get in front of us to get us to stop, or for him to stop in front of us to get us to pull over or throw us in the ditch, whatever it was. But he was driving very recklessly.
Okay. And how old are you?
I am 22.
Okay. And how old was Sean at this time, back in January?
15 years old.
Was that 16?
Yes.
Sorry, it kind of cut out just a little bit. And about how old is David, if you know?
David is 23.
Okay. And when right now, can you see more than just yourself on your screen?
No.
Okay. Do you know how to make it to where you can see more than just yourself on your screen?
I could try.
Upper right, there's a button called View.
Okay, hang on. Oh, I think you messed up, so, alright, I'll go back. Screen, upper right, it says view.
Yeah. Something
No.
like that.
No, I don't see it. This is, sorry about this. This is my first time ever.
On Zoom, that's okay.
Ask her if it's okay if your mother tries. Maybe my mom, do you know how to use better? I don't know how to.
I'm
Trying
sorry.
to pull up the other people that you know in the port within.
What was the name of the button?
What are we looking for, ma'am?
It should be the upper right, and it should say view.
We have a camera screen. I don't know.
No.
We don't
That's-
have.
No, I don't see
It
none that
says
says.
live.
It says leave.
Leave.
Zoom, there's a camera, a mute button, a record.
Mandy, do you have any suggestions?
No, I see what
If
Amber
they're
is.
on if they're on a cell phone, they just need to scroll the screen right. From primary view to window view.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so did that take care of it, Mr. Miller?
Yes.
There's your Zoom lesson for the day, y'all. I hope you took notes.
Okay, and now how many boxes do you see besides yourself?
I see 4 or
Okay.
5. 5.
And-
There's one on mute.
Do you see the person that you've been referring to as the driver of the other vehicle, and I think PD?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and can you describe what he looks like and his kind of his general background?
I mean, he's a white male, slick black hair. Behind him, he has something that I can't tell, but it's multiple things. It looks like books, I believe. Yeah.
I would ask that the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant, Peter Mogel.
The record so reflects.
So as you're driving, you're saying that he's getting awfully close to you and you feel like he's trying to run you off the road or pull in front of you to get you to stop. What else is he doing that, caused you to call law enforcement?
I mean, he chased us for God knows how many miles. When I first seen him at the gas station, he was asking me for a ride. He asked me for drugs, and then when we got up on the freeway, I'm not quite sure where it was at, but there was a part where the road would break off to the right and break off to the left. And at that point, he got in front of me and he went to the right, and I was going to the left. He decided he actually made a U-turn on oncoming traffic to come back towards that on-ramp to get on the lane with us, to get on the freeway we was going on. That's when we called law enforcement and we understood there was something wrong. And that's when that whole incident started, that he started trying to run us off the road and, pulled out a firearm after so long because he got up on the side of us. When he pulled up on the side of us, he went and he said, pull over, and something along these lines. I don't want to hurt y'all. Just pull over. I want to talk to y'all. And he pulled out the firearm and pointed at us. But before that, the law enforcement was on the phone maybe 10 or 12 minutes.
Okay, so by the time that he pulls the firearm on you, you've been on the phone with 911 for at least 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and at this point, when he's pointing the firearm over and he's telling you to pull over, are you scared? Are you?
Oh yes, I was in fear for my life. We was panicking, all 3 of us, in the vehicle. We didn't what to do or how to get away from him. And that's when, we was begging, the operator of 911, whoever was on the other line, please just get officers to us because we don't know what his plan is.
And could you see other people in the vehicle with him?
Yes, there was another female and another male. The male had a mask on his face. I did not get to see his face, and the female was in the back seat.
Okay, so the male had a mask on his face and he was in the passenger seat?
Yes.
And did either that male or that female have, I guess, say anything to you or gesture at you that you're aware of?
They was kind of trying to tell me to pull over. I mean, the female not so much. She was in the back seat, but the male was kind of pointing for me to pull over. That was inside the passenger seat. He was, yeah.
But but you're certain that it was the driver, PD, that you've identified, that he was the one with the gun and he was the one basically making the threats?
Yes, PD was the one with the gun. He was the one also driving. and he was, yeah, making all the threats. He pointed the firearm at me. He was the gentleman that I first seen at the gas station that asked me for a ride, and yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Miller. I don't think I have any further questions, but hang out just for a little bit. Mr. Favre is probably gonna have some follow-up for you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for the witness, Mr. Favre?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Miller, can you turn your camera back on?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Miller. So first things first, you first ran into Mr. Bogle, who you identified as PD at a gas station. What gas station was that?
I'm not exactly sure. I know I have the address somewhere in my phone. I sent it to one of the officers.
Was it in Wichita? Was it in another city?
Yes, sir. It was in Wichita.
Okay. And now your testimony today is that PD came up to you at the gas station, asked you for drugs, and then started chasing you in your car. Is that right?
Yes. The exact way it happened, we woke up that morning with a flat tire, which it looked like someone stabbed our tire. We put that in the report also. We changed the tire, and when we pulled into the gas station, he pulled into the pump right next to us, and I guess he was arguing with the other male in the vehicle. He got out of the car, and the other male, at this time, he was in the passenger seat. The other male drove off. He comes up to me at my driver's window while I was driving, and my older brother was pumping gas. He starts to, start a conversation up, asking for a ride. And I said, no, I can't give you a ride. I got somewhere I got to be. Then he also asked us for drugs. He said he'll give us money for a ride. And I said I can't help him. I told my little brother to get back in the car with me. He got in the car. I hung up my diesel, my gas. I went to pull out, and then he started flashing us down again, saying that we dropped something, which we know we didn't drop nothing. And then that's when we got up on the freeway. And about 3 or 4 miles later, the car that left him there was the car that he was driving that chased us through this whole incident.
So when you left the gas station, he was not in a car. His car had driven off.
Yes.
But then later down the road, you see him in the car chasing you.
Yes, the car that dropped him off. Yes, sir. He was driving it.
Prior to this time, you had never had any interactions with Mr. Mogul, didn't know him from Adam, correct?
Never met him a day in my life.
To your knowledge, your brother hadn't either. Nobody in your car said they knew him to you that day. Okay. All right. So then you're driving down the road. Now you, I think, testified you were in an F-250. Officers say that you were in F-350.
It could be F-350. It's my friend's truck that we was working on. It could be a F-350. I know it's a single wheel truck. I know they make them F-250 and F-350. I'm not quite sure.
And then Mr. Mogul and the 2 other passengers are in an Infinity. Is that correct?
I believe so. I didn't really.
Okay. So you're in a work truck. I'm guessing that, like most work trucks, it's got a somewhat higher profile than your standard sedan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the sedan, it's a normal sedan. It's not like with some lift package where it's like riding higher than a normal sedan would, correct?
I would guess so, yeah.
Okay. So now I want to understand how you guys are driving down the road, because you say you're going really fast, right? 90 plus miles an hour?
At some points.
And is Mr. Mogul mostly behind? Is the Infinity mostly behind you, or is it mostly on your side? Where is the Infinity at?
He was on the side of me most of the time. I ran about 3 or 4 red lights trying to get away from him. We would be side to side, and I would try to get over around on shoulders around vehicles. He would come around with me. After he pointed the firearm at me, that's when I decided I didn't want to let him get on the side of the truck anymore, because I was in fear that he might try to shoot us or somewhere along those lines. So I kept him behind us at that point. I was trying to block him in, not to let him.
So he is on your driver's side, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
He is so good at painting the picture of what happened through this chase. And he's so consistent. I can absolutely imagine every moment from start to finish based on his testimony. He's such a good witness.
And you're seeing him pointing the gun like through the passenger side? Is that your testimony?
Yes, when he was driving, he was sitting like this, and he pulled up on the side of us, and that's when I rolled down my window and I asked, "Can you leave us alone? What do you want?" That's when he picked up the firearm and said, "You need to pull over. I don't want to have to hurt you." And he pointed
And
the firearm.
this is all while you're going 90 miles an hour?
No, this is when
No.
we slowed down. We came into oncoming traffic at a light, and I couldn't get around the traffic. So he pulled up on the side of us. It was like an intersection, a cross intersection. I couldn't get around traffic. We was doing maybe like 10 or 15 mile an hour because we're coming in traffic. He pulled up on the side of us, and that's when I rolled down the window and I asked him, "What do you want?" And that's when he pulled out the firearm and told us to pull over and you won't have to hurt us.
Okay, so you said you ran lights, but now you're saying this light you stopped at, right? This intersection.
I couldn't get around. What happened was we was coming into traffic, and I asked him, "What does he want?" I was starting to slow down, seeing maybe if there was something wrong. I didn't understand what was going on after about 10, 12 miles. The officer was on the phone. When he pulled out the firearm, I went through a ditch, kind of, put in the truck and trailer on the side of the road, halfway in the ditch to get around traffic again, and I also ran that red light.
So when this gun is pointed, you're saying it's pointed from Petey, which means that it's being pointed over the other individual who's sitting there in the black mask. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And the other individual is just sitting there while this gun is pointed over him. What's going on there?
Yeah, he leaned back, and that's when Petey pointed the gun towards us in our direction. When Petey pointed the gun in our direction, I rolled up my window, and that's when I went kind of in off the road into the ditch, and then, on the shoulder to get away from him. And he also followed behind us.
Gotcha.
Prosecutor is sitting there documenting how many red lights the kid admitted to running, and he's just going to get the tickets in the mail.
Gotcha. Then after that, you say you try to keep him behind you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I was trying to keep him behind my trailer, not let him back on the side of us because I was scared because he had a firearm. And then we wound up on a 2-lane highway where there was a truck in the right lane and we was in the left lane, and he couldn't come back around us. That's when he exited and decided to make a U-turn and go back towards Wichita. That next exit is where we met up with the officers.
At the very beginning of this, you had mentioned the name Petey.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Where'd that come from? Where'd this knowledge of his name Petey come from?
That's just what I heard his name was. One of the officers said Petey or Pete. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
So at the very beginning of this, you start testifying about him being Petey, but nobody prior to that was calling him Petey. So how did you know that nickname?
That's when the first court date came on, I believe they called him Petey on the witness stand or something like that. I thought his name was Pete.
You think that the prosecutor or the judge called him Petey? Is that what you're testifying?
Yes, I'm not sure of his name. I don't know if it's Pete, Petey, Pete. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I see. But you've never met him before, ever, and if you were to have your social media and phone subpoenaed, there'd be no records of you having any contact at all with him ever, correct?
Ever. I would give no.
Okay.
I don't know him whatsoever.
Okay. All right. No further questions.
I trust we can go ahead and release this witness at this time. Ms. Norris?
Your Honor, just one follow-up question real quick, and then, yes. Mr. Miller, the other vehicle, was it a car or an SUV or a truck?
I believe SUV. I think it would be considered SUV. I'm not sure what it'd be considered.
What did it look like?
I mean, it was a silver 4-door car, Infinity.
So bigger than a car, but smaller than a truck?
Bigger than a car and smaller than a truck, yes.
Okay. Sure. Very good. I just wanted to clarify that. He had asked you some questions about it being a sedan. I just wanted to make sure that we were clear.
Yeah, it was definitely bigger than a car, yes, but not as big as a truck, but bigger than a car.
Okay, okay. Very good. And nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Favre, anything about that?
No, Judge.
Very well. What about Mr. Miller? Can he be released at this time, Ms. Norris?
Yes, Your Honor, but Mr. Miller, I'm gonna need Sean, so if you could just have him come into the room.
Okay. Yes, I'll get up and let you. I'll go get him. 1 second.
Thank you.
Hello.
Sean Miller?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to administer an oath to you. You're going to testify in this case. I need to be able to see that you've raised your right hand when I administer the oath.
Okay.
Raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give in the matter now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
You may question the witness, Ms. Norris.
Please state your name for the record.
Sean Miller,
And in January of 2024, how old were you?
16.
And were you in the Wichita, Kansas area back in January of this year?
Yes.
And did you have contact with law enforcement?
Yes.
Can you explain briefly why it is that you ended up having contact with law enforcement?
Because this guy over here, we stopped at a gas station in the morning. Before that, we had a pop tire. We fixed the tire. We went to the gas station. Him and whoever was in the car with him, that other male, they was arguing. They left him at the gas station. He asked us for a ride. Why I was pumping the gas. He asked my brother for drugs. We got back inside of the truck, and then a couple miles up the road, he started chasing us and trying to hurt us.
Okay, what exactly was he doing to try and hurt you?
He was trying to throw us in ditches. He pulled a gun on us.
And at this point, are you scared of what's going on?
I was in fear for my life.
Okay.
I was shaken.
And the person that you saw that day who pulled a gun on you and who was trying to drive you off the road, do you see that person on the screen today?
Yes.
And can you describe him and the background that he's in, please?
He has books in his background and he has slick back hair.
Okay. Your Honor, ask that the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant.
Record again, so reflects. Okay. Sean, I don't want anybody else in the room where you're testifying. If they can leave, please.
Okay.
Anything further, Ms. Norris?
And just a couple more questions, Mr. Miller. Did the defendant say anything to you during the while the vehicles were moving?
Yes. When he has pulled the gun, he told us to pull over, and he does not want to hurt us while he was pointing the gun at us. And
Okay.
he was screaming.
And did you say he was screaming?
Yes, he was screaming at us to pull over.
Okay. Nothing further. Thank you, Sean. Mr. Favre is going to have some follow-up questions for you, so don't go anywhere just yet, okay? Thank you.
All right, Mr. Favre?
Sean, what were you doing in Wichita that day on January 25th?
I was with my brother on a work trip.
On a what trip?
Work trip.
Work trip? What kind of work were you doing?
We buy oil filled equipment.
You buy oil for what?
Oil filled equipment.
Oil filled equipment, okay. And are you not in school? You're 16.
I'm homeschooled.
Homeschooled, I see. And how long have you known Petey for?
I don't.
You don't?
I never seen him before. That was the first encounter with him.
Okay. And the other individuals in the car that were there while this chase is going on, were they doing anything?
The one that was inside of the passenger seat, he was kind of trying to tell us to pull over too. And the one that was inside of the back seat, I didn't really see her because the window was kind of tinted on the car.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about the gun pointing. Did you see the gun being pointed? I think you said you did, correct?
I did.
Okay. When this gun is pointed, are you thinking this is a real gun, an airsoft, a water gun? What are you thinking?
I thought it was a real gun.
I thought it was a real gun. When it's pointed, is it being pointed like while the
Yeah.
car's moving? Is it being pointed while the car stopped? When was it being pointed at you?
While we was driving when he pulled on the side of us.
Okay. And was it pointed at yourself, at the driver? Who was it pointed at?
All of us.
All of you. So he's kind of rotating it around a bit. Okay. All right. And are you thinking he's going to shoot you at this point, or what are your thoughts?
Yes, I thought he was gonna.
Okay. All right. Have you ever met anybody named Brooklyn Marks?
No.
No. Okay. All right. No further questions for this witness.
Anything further, Ms. Norris?
No, Your Honor, and I believe that both the Miller boys can be released at this point.
Very well. You can stay with the meeting. If you do decide to stay with the meeting, you'll need to mute yourself. Otherwise, you can leave the Zoom meeting entirely, okay?
I will go on mute and I will kill the camera.
All right.
Thank you.
You
Your Honor,
have
state,
additional witnesses?
just one more, Your Honor, David Costello. David, can you turn on your camera and unmute?
Hello.
Hi, can you turn your camera on?
Oh, I thought it was on already.
Sorry, no, we can't, we can hear you, but we can't see you. There you are. Your Honor, state calls David Costello.
Costello, you've been called as a witness. I'm going to administer an oath. Raise your right hand, please, where I can see it. You do solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the matter now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
A question of the witness, Ms. Norris.
Please state your name for the record.
David Costello.
And Mr. Costello, did you have contact with law enforcement in January of this year?
Yes.
Yes, Ichini, that was the big excuse as to why he had to take them on a high-speed chase with a firearm. That was the reason.
And Mr. Costello, do you live in Sedgwick County in Wichita?
No.
Okay. Are you familiar with Wichita, Sedgwick County?
Somewhat.
In January of 2024, you were in Wichita. Why were you there?
I was just passing through on the way home.
Okay. You live in another state?
Yes, I live here in Texas.
Okay, so you also live in Texas. Did you end up having to have contact with law enforcement while you were in Kansas in January?
Yes.
And just briefly describe for the court how that came about. What happened?
So we woke up in the morning and as we was at the gas station we seen Peter and do you want me to go through like the whole story of what happened?
Yes, just give me a brief overview of
A brief, okay.
like, once you left the gas station, what happened?
Once we left the gas station, we were then by the defendant all throughout the freeway. I don't remember what interstate we was on, but we was chased all throughout the freeway. He was trying to run into us. He then ended up pulling out a what looked to be like a gun on us, pointed it at us, told us to pull over, and we went on probably a 30 or 40 mile long car chase of him just trying to chase us and run us off the road.
And did that cause you to be fearful for your safety?
Yes, I was genuinely I was really concerned that I may have not been able to see the next day.
And what vehicle were you in when this was happening?
It was in my truck at the time.
Okay, and what kind of truck was it?
It was a 2022 Ford F-350.
Okay, and who was driving?
Chris was driving, I believe.
Okay, and can you see more than one screen, like one box on your screen as you're looking at your
yeah, no.
device?
Yeah, I just noticed.
Okay, do you see the person that you met at the gas station that was chasing you in the vehicle on the screen?
Yes.
And can you describe what he looks like and kind of his general background for the court?
Yes, he is wearing a orange jumpsuit, and his background, it looks like there's a bookshelf behind him.
Your Honor, ask that the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
Record reflects that this witness has also identified the defendant.
Thank you, Mr. Costello. I don't think I have any further questions, but Mr. Favre, the defense attorney, may have some follow-up, okay?
Okay, Mr. Favre?
Thank you, Mr. Costello. You said you were passing through from where?
We was in another city in the state of Kansas that I can't remember the name of. If it's necessary, I can get it for you. And we was just on the way home trying to get back into Houston. We stopped in Wichita to get a room, and then that's when we woke up the next morning to our tires slashed, and then all of that happened.
So what were you in the other city in Kansas doing?
So the work that I do, I buy surplus equipment and scrap metal. So we was there just for an appointment looking at some stuff.
Gotcha. Surplus equipment. And so you're the one whose main business this is, right? Not the Miller boys.
No, so the Miller boys, I mean, we're all related. We all do the similar thing. We all do the same thing. So sometimes, we if we have an appointment or we have a bid up, we'll partner up together and go place a bid on something.
Gotcha. And so you were there not in Wichita to do business that day. You were there just passing through from the other city where you had been looking at some metal and some other equipment.
Yeah. So in Wichita, we stopped that night because if y'all remember, that's when that big freeze happened. So it was raining. There was ice on the roads. There was snow. We was a little worried. We're not really used to snow and ice, so we just figured, we'll pull over for the night, get a room. It was 9 or 10 o'clock at night when we got the room, and just wake up in the morning, get on the road to go home.
Gotcha. So that was just to be clear, you were just there because of the weather. You weren't there for any kind of business, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So you're driving this F-350 2002. You said you ran into Peter. Now, have you ever met Peter before that?
No, sir.
Did you know him from any other relationships or anything else?
No, sir. I've never met him before.
Okay. What gas station was it that you met him at? Do you recall?
I can't recall the name of it. I could recall the general area we was. I think we was at pumps 1 and 2 on the left hand side of it.
Gotcha. Okay. And that was it. That was a gas station in Wichita. And then when you started driving on the 54 out towards Andover and Augusta, and that's when Peter got behind you. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, Houston is not in that direction. Houston is south. So why were you headed the direction of the 54?
So on the bottom right corner of Kansas, of the state of Kansas, on the way home that morning, we got a lead to go place a bid on some other stuff. Or I think it was the day before, we got a lead to go place a bid on the other stuff, and it was kind of on the way home. We just had to take a weird route. So we figured, we're going to be kind of in the area either way. This is maybe like an hour detour. So we'll head in that direction on like the bottom right corner of Kansas. That's where the GPS was taking us.
You had a lead to do some business in southeast Kansas, and that was just a detour you agreed to. Is that right?
Yeah. It was kind of just like a detour.
Well, his client told him that the reason for the high-speed chase was because one of the boys was trying to date his 12-year-old daughter. And that's why he had to chase them down. So Favre is trying to prove that theory. And that's why he asked the first Miller boy, if we subpoenaed your social media and phone records, are you saying there's no contact? Or there's no trace of talking to him? So yeah, he's trying to believe his client.
I see. And when did you get that lead?
Mr. Favre, what's the relevance of this line of questioning? Does it have anything to do with this case?
Judge, I think
Does
that,
it make while they were on the road?
fair enough, Judge. I'll withdraw the question. All right, Mr. Costello. So you were in the passenger seat of this F-350, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The F-350 is a work truck and you were trailing behind you, some wire or something in a trailer, is that right?
Yes, sir. This was my personal truck. In the trailer we had some scrap metal.
Scrap metal. When you're
Scrap metal,
driving down
some
the,
electrical wire.
when you're driving down the road, were you going high rates of speed?
But prior to being chased or after?
After.
So during the chase, yes, we was.
Were you losing some of the wiring and metal out of the back of your trailer?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
Everything was pretty secure in there.
When the gun pointing incident occurred, could you see that clearly from your perspective, from where you were sitting in the passenger seat?
I was able to see.
Okay. And that was being pointed clearly from the driver's side, not from the passenger side of that vehicle.
Peter, trying to remember. I'm sorry, I don't entirely recall if Peter was driving or not. It's been, I know it was being pointed by Peter. I don't remember if he was driving or not.
Gotcha. Okay. So it was definitely being pointed by Peter, but he may or may not have been driving. Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay.
I believe he was driving.
Okay.
No, yes, he was driving.
Okay.
He was driving. The other guy was in the passenger seat.
Gotcha. And prior to this incident, to your knowledge, nobody had said anything in your car to be a threat or anything that would be threatening to Mr. Mogul prior to this chase occurring?
No, sir.
Okay. No further questions for this. Oh, actually, well, I apologize. One further question. Do you have an aunt or a cousin named Jennifer?
No.
Okay. No further questions.
All right, do you have any further evidence to present, Ms. Norris?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Does the defense intend to present evidence at this hearing?
Just a brief closing statement, if I could, Judge.
I'll allow
Thank you.
it, as long as it's brief.
Yes, Judge. So essentially, I think that the state has not met the burden, as low of a burden as that is, on some of the amended charges. We do have the KBI lab that was entered. We don't have any testimony regarding what that KBI lab is in reference to, how it is tied to Mr. Mogul at all. Mr. Lieutenant Lawrence did not lay any testimony regarding the booking of that evidence or what evidence was found. So I think that even with a very light burden that a preliminary hearing imposes on the state, I think that burden still hasn't been met. There also hasn't been met that burden of trafficking and contraband. There's been no testimony regarding, where contraband was found, how it was found, any of that evidence. So we'd ask that those counts be dismissed. And that would be our argument today.
Very well. Ms. Norris, I have a question for you. What statements is the state relying upon for the independent charge of criminal threat based on the evidence presented at this hearing?
Your Honor, the statements made by several of the witnesses that basically he's yelling and screaming at them to pull over, and he's pointing a gun at them, and that he's basically telling them the opposite of "I don't want to hurt you" when he's waving a gun at them, and telling them to pull over and screaming at them. So I believe that's a criminal threat. And then also he's trying to run them off the road with the vehicle. And so I believe that that's probably the best argument for the ag assault. And then the gun and the statements that he made are the criminal threat.
All right, very well. The court's prepared to rule. The court finds from the evidence presented that there is probable cause that the crime of aggravated assault was committed and that the defendant committed it. The defendant is bound over on count 1. Regarding the amended charges, the court does find while the evidence of the possession of methamphetamine and trafficking in the jail is not extensive, nevertheless, evidence is before the court and in the light most favorable to the prosecution, which the court has to look at this point, that the defendant did commit the crime of possession of methamphetamine in count 5. And the court binds him over on count 5, as well as the fact that it took place in a correctional institution where it was found. There is evidence in the record to support that. In the light most favorable to the prosecution, the court will bind over on count 4, trafficking in a correctional institution as well. Court further finds that the reckless behavior and waving of the gun constitutes probable cause that there is aggravated endangerment of the minor as charged in count 7. The defendant is bound over on count 7 as well. However, court finds that there is not sufficient independent probable cause evidence on an independent count, on count 6 of criminal threat. Court finds that it's essentially duplicative of essentially the aggravated assault charge in count 1, and that there is not sufficient evidence of an independent criminal threat in this case. So he will not be bound over on count 6, but he's bound over on all other felony charges of the amended information. There's also a couple of misdemeanors which are still pending. Court will proceed to arraignment. Does the client desire the charging document to be read to him, Mr. PAWFURM?
The judge, he'd waive a formal reading and enter not guilty plea at this time.
Court will accept the not guilty plea to all remaining charges and will set appropriate pretrial conference and jury trial dates. Jury trial in this case is established for August the 20th, starting at 9:00 a.m. unless announced differently later. August 20th for jury trial. Court will establish a pretrial conference for the week before, Friday, August the 16th at 11. Mr. PAWFURM?
That works for me, Judge.
Court will set pretrial conference in this matter, 11:00 a.m., Friday, August the 16th. Anything else we need to address at this time, Ms. Norris?
Not from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. PAWFURM?
Not this time, Judge.
Then the mogul matter will currently be in recess, and this meeting may be ended for all at this time.
Sorry, I was having issues clicking it. Yeah. The likelihood that it was a case of mistaken identity, I really don't think so. I think it was just a method doing what a method do. You know? Yeah, because he's gonna come across someone that has a real one the next time. It's not smart to pretend to have one. I don't know what Kansas's laws are, but like I know what Wisconsin's are, and you run the risk. If you have a play one that you're pretending is real and it's realistic, you run the risk of someone having a real one. It's on a sticky note. Yeah, he just messing around all around town. Can you imagine though, those poor boys? They're from Texas, where, mind you, I don't think there's a soul in Texas that don't have one. Which is what makes me think the laws might be stricter or different in Kansas. Because, you know, or maybe it's a licensing issue because they wouldn't have been able to take it across state lines. I don't know. I don't know other states' laws. But I do know that those boys were really lucky. That criminal was really lucky. And every person that was on the road at that moment was really lucky. Everybody is so blessed that the person behind the wheel was who was behind the wheel, because clearly He knew how to drive. He knew how to drive well. He had a trailer and he was evading a criminal with a gun in a terrifying situation at 90 miles an hour in some cases with a trailer. I can barely drive in town with a trailer and not have fear that I'm going to hit a curb or run someone over or something with it. Oh my goodness. As long as I ain't got to back one up. I did that. I did that before, and it wasn't pretty. To be fair, it was a very long one. And I had not ever done that with a really long trailer. It did not matter what direction I tried to make it go. It didn't want to. It just wanted to jackknife the whole time. The whole time. Didn't matter how wide I tried to turn. Didn't matter how tight I tried to turn it. Didn't matter how far I pulled out and tried to back up. It wouldn't cooperate. I blame it. Because it couldn't have been me, because I know what I'm doing. No, I don't have a clue. Yeah. I don't agree. Because I've done short ones just fine. I'm weird, though. I'm weird. Like, nothing works out for me the way it does for other people. And, you know, I just have to say, I think it's the cutest thing, Chadaskidon, that your sister saw the comment the other day. And I just have to say, hello, Sister Carla. Thanks for being a part of the fam. You have officially been adopted here. We're bringing you in. You're one of us now. Chadaskidum and I have been buds for a while. We've been good friends. We've chatted in other people's streams before I ever even became a streamer. Well, I'm just telling you what worked for me and what didn't, man. This thing was big and it was wide and it was long and it just didn't want to listen to me. And I'm going to leave that alone. Oh, 100%. 100%. Apparently, I'm a terrible driver. Supposedly. I don't do a whole lot of driving anymore, though. Not a lot. No. All of my medical appointments, I have medical transport that takes me because of the disabilities and having to have like assistance getting in and out of the vehicles and stuff like that. I do have to take my daughter places sometimes, but most of my driving is in town. Like, I don't know if I go more than 5-10 miles in each trip, maybe. But that's fine. That's fine with me. That is fine with me. Meep, meep. All right, guys. I am going to go to bed. It's 1:00 in the morning. Time for me to attempt to pretend to sleep. Oh, I say that because you know how I was going to go to bed early last night and I ended the stream and everything and I was going to get some sleep. It was 4 a.m. before I finally got in my bed. Mm-hmm. No, there was one time I when I dropped off at tennis, there was one time that a cop came to my house and he's like, we got reports of, basically saying that he thought I was under the influence. And I'm like, no, sorry, no, I'm not. I think he was waiting for me to admit to something too. Like, he didn't, yeah. He came knocking at my door. And of course, the guy that I was seeing at the time, of course, he used that as well, I've never had cops come to the door for me. Oh my gosh. Yes, Laura, I love you. You are the sweetest. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. And thank you to Just a Kidder, our new friend, our funny new friend. Good to have you here. I really, really appreciate you joining the stream. Everybody, be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.